Hello, my name is Claude White, and yes, it is time for NFL picks for Week 7 in 2018. And I'm going to start off with tonight's game, which is the Denver Broncos going up against the Arizona Cardinals. Now, obviously, the Broncos got their free agent quarterback in Case Keenum. Obviously, the Paxton Lynch experiment failed. And so far, if you wanted to grade, Case Keenum, I would give him probably about a C-. I mean, he is who he is. I don't understand why he got all this big money anyway. As far as I'm concerned, they should have never lowballed Colin Kaepernick. He'd have been the quarterback for the Denver Broncos, but I digress. Now, Arizona has turned over the reins a couple of weeks ago to young Josh Rosen out of UCLA. He has shown flashes like most NFL rookies will. To say he has struggled would be fair, but you can see the improvement. He definitely has an NFL-made, tailor-made arm. I actually like Rosen. I like what he brings to the table. He's a very mature quarterback, but they could say he's a little flaky, but he definitely has the arm strength. He makes all the throws. David Johnson has not played as well. I think that it's because of the offensive line. Their defense has been actually pretty good. And I'm going to be honest, I just like the Arizona Cardinals, even though they do not have the record that speaks to it. They play hard. They're actually pretty decent. I think they're going to win at least 6 games with this young man. And let's face it, the Broncos, they've been getting run over the last couple of weeks. Now, last week was a week they could have won. They blew it. They definitely had a shot. I'm not feeling this Denver team. And I think Vance Joseph is going to be one of those guys that could be shown the door before season's out. I like the Arizona Cardinals 23-17 over Denver in the first game. Now, the second game that I'm choosing will be across the pond in London, where the Tennessee Titans will take on I was almost said it, but I didn't. The Los Angeles Chargers. Yeah, as far as I'm concerned, they'll always be the San Diego Chargers. They don't have much of a home field advantage in LA. That being said, they don't have to worry about that. Being in London, the Tennessee Titans got the brakes beat off of them by the Baltimore Ravens, giving up 11 sacks. Marcus Mariota, some of that, I won't even say some of that is on him. A lot of it is because the receivers can't get separation. A lot of it also, that Baltimore defense is tough. They really are. I mean, I'm a Steeler fan. I know how tough that Ravens defense is. San Diego, Phillip Rivers right now, if you look at the 04 class with him, Roethlisberger, and Eli Manning, in fact, that's how it would go if you're going to rank those 3 quarterbacks. Right now, Phillip Rivers is playing the best out of those 3. Roethlisberger, he played well last week, but he's been inconsistent during the season. Eli Manning, let's face it, he needs to be shown the door as quarterback of the New York Giants. Now, Melvin Gordon has improved immensely. He has become the featured back that they envisioned when they picked him in the first round a couple of years ago. The wide receivers, Keenan Allen. I just like the entire receiving corps. Mike Williams. I understand that the tight end was hurt at the beginning of the season, the original tight end. But they do have Antonio Gates, and they do have a definite chemistry. I like the Chargers big in this one. Titans are terrible. 31-13. I see that particular score. Now, the third game, I'm picking the Jets going up against the Minnesota Vikings. That is my upset special of the week. I like the Jets to win a narrow game. Why? Let's face it, I don't like Kirk Cousins. Period, point blank. The Vikings' defense is not the same as it was. And to be honest, they're just now getting a semblance of a running game. Whereas the Jets quarterback, Sam Darnold, you can see him improving each and every week. You see the running game, how they've played. Bilal Powell, and especially Isaiah Crowell. Robbie Anderson making big plays down the field. And the Jet defense has played very, very well. They're getting to the quarterback now. Leonard Williams is playing well. Jamal Adams is one of the top 5 safeties on the sport. And he's a young man. He's only going to get better. Something about the way Todd Bowles coaches. You know what? He's a silent assassin. I really like him as a coach. And he always gets the maximum effort out of his team. I like the Jets here. 27-24 upset special over the Vikings. Now, an NFC East rivalry, the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Washington Redskins. Cowboys won big against Jacksonville. I expect them to come back down to earth in Washington. Alex Smith has played well. The running game, Adrian Peterson has stabilized it. I like their receivers. Now, Dallas, let's give them credit. Their defense, their front seven is great. Their secondary actually is pretty decent. Cowboy defense has done a lot better than I expected. It's Ezekiel Elliott or bust, even though Prescott played well last week. I don't trust him. There's no way I trust Dak Prescott. I don't trust those receivers to have 2 big games in a row. I like the Washington Redskins here. Score 34-24 over Dallas. Now the Sunday night game is the Cincinnati Bengals going up against the Kansas City Chiefs, who lost their first game against the New England Patriots, a game that I did pick New England to win. Now, I do believe that the Chiefs will have a bounce back on this one. You know they play much better at home. Their defense is not great, but the Bengals' offense is mediocre at best. I don't trust. You trust Andy Dalton? Yeah, right. There's no freaking way I'm choosing Andy Dalton over Pat Mahomes. Can't do it. The running game, Kareem Hunt is due. He is due for a big game. Tyreek Hill, the fastest wide receiver in football. I don't think anybody stopped him yet. Now, I love A.J. Green. I do. I mean, he's one of the top receivers in the sport. If he didn't play for the Bengals, I'd be rooting for him big time. Their running back is decent. I don't know if Bernard is playing this week. They need him because they need to change the pace to give Joe Mixon a break. The defense of Cincinnati is feast or famine. Their secondary has actually played a little bit better than I thought. Their front seven has underwhelmed. I do like the Kansas City Chiefs in this one, 31-27 over the Bengals. Now, the final game of this week, the Giants strolled into Atlanta to face the Falcons. Right now, top to bottom, the Giants are the worst team in football. I'm sorry. Eli Manning is shot. Their defense can't get to the quarterback, even though Olivier Vernon is the only guy I saw with a pass rush. But I do believe the Giants' defense will play better this week. Now, better to them is probably like in the mid-20s. But I tell you, that Atlanta team is decimated with injury. They lost their running back, Devontae Freeman, for the season. Their defense is piss poor. If Eli's ever going to get right, it will be this game. And this is another upset. It's funny, I do pick the 2 New York teams to win this week. I normally don't do that. But I'm going to go with the Giants, 31-24 over the Falcons. And those are my Week 7 picks for this week. My name is Claude White. Please like and subscribe, ladies and gentlemen. Take care and God bless.